Welcome back to GBN Tonight, and I want to kick off this evening with an exclusive story on migration levels here in Britain. Data seen exclusively by GBNews shows that an astonishing 250,000 legal immigrants have been let into the UK since 2021 without even a basic criminal record check. Now, this comes as yesterday it was revealed that the Home Office is planning for 10 more years of small boat arrivals, earmarking a further £500 million, £500 million, for contracts to run 2 illegal migrant processing facilities from January 2026. And brace yourselves, because this evening Nigel Farage has posted on X, formerly Twitter, what appears to be an illegal immigrant with a Kalashnikov gun tattooed across his face, firing an incendiary warning to the Reform Party leader.
Englishman, Nigel Pasa, don't talk about me. You not know me. I come to England because I want marriage with your sister. Don't talk about me more. I gonna come to England. I gonna mother.
Charming, isn't it? Now, on Saturday, Nigel said of the man who appears to be an illegal migrant trying to get to the UK from France, "Is this the kind of man we really want in our country?" Now, this terrifying incident shows we have absolutely no idea who is trying to get into our country and no idea whatsoever of their criminal background or indeed any involvement with terrorist activity. Now, the Home Office has told GB News that they would not comment until it was reported to the police. How nice of them. But joining me now is the human rights lawyer, Shoaib Khan. Shoaib, welcome to the show. Don't know if you saw that intro there, but we have a clear death threat to a sitting MP from an illegal Afghan immigrant. Started his journey in Stockholm, went through Germany, now is in France. Let's face it, he could travel illegally in a dinghy tomorrow to Britain, and there's nothing we could do whatsoever to deport him because he's an Afghan, and it would contravene his human rights to be deported back to Afghanistan, despite the fact he's issued a clear death threat to Nigel Farage, a sitting MP. On what level is that in any way acceptable?
Hi. Yes, so the main thing is, I think deportation or keeping people away or sending people away from this country, I think somehow we think that's some sort of panacea or some sort of treatment, some sort of solution to all our problems. The main thing is, if, for instance, this person has done this, if this was happening in any other situation, we would have said, or if potentially he's committing a criminal offense, which, of course, issuing a death threat is, then, if anything, we would be extraditing him to the UK because we want to try him here and we want to prosecute him and we want to punish him if his crime is proven, which, obviously,
we don't want to do that, Shoaib Khan, because that would then make him our problem. It would make him a liability of the British taxpayer because he'd be straight in nick and we'd have to pay his food and lodgings for years. That isn't the answer. The answer that people really want is to stop people like this getting to our country in the first place.
Yeah, to be honest, legally or logically or practically, I just don't think that solution, like they say about enemies, keep your friends close but your enemies closer. The point is, this is what we do every time. Anyone's making threats against us, whether against an individual or against the security, against the country. We just want to keep them. Do we really, is that really what we're saying? As long as this person is not within the UK, he won't be able to harm Nigel Farage or anyone else. I don't think that's true.
That is what I'm saying. And that is what the vast majority of people would say. Why on earth should an illegal Afghan immigrant issuing death threats to legally elected representatives in the UK be welcomed into our country so we can arrest them? The answer is not to let them come in the first place.
Are we really that naive that we think, if he really is hell-bent on harming someone in the UK, he won't be able to do that or arrange that somehow?
If you're not in the 22 miles of water in the way.
Sorry?
Because there'd be 22 miles of water in the way if he was in France.
No, but are we seriously saying he can't harm someone else or he won't be able to arrange something else? So anyway, for me, that's a very naive viewpoint that we hold. And that's what we do every time. Once we've deported someone or removed someone or someone is overseas, we say, okay, as long as he's not within the country, he's not our responsibility. But the point is, if it is this government's responsibility to keep Nigel Farage, a sitting MP, safe, then that's what we need to be. We shouldn't be looking at, he'll cost us tens of thousands of pounds No, the point is we need to keep Nigel Farage safe. If that's our aim, then that's our aim. I don't think keeping this single man away from the
So if you follow your logic, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be about 150,000 people on beaches in France issuing death threats against politicians or whoever they like in Britain. And then what? We've got to get the whole lot into British jails because they represent threats? That's your logic. That's what you just said.
Yeah, no, so I'm not basically saying that we need to, what I said was that in any other case would be extra. So of course we don't, but what I'm saying is that if he does turn up here, if somehow he ends up in this country, immediately, summarily deporting him is not the answer. If we think that's going to eliminate all danger, all risk against Nigel Farage, I think that's a very naive viewpoint. That's the point I'm trying to make. But secondly, obviously, surely,
pardon me, surely the more naive of the two viewpoints here is, yeah, let's get the illegal Afghan into Britain and there'll be less of a threat to Nigel Farage. How can it be less of a threat if this person is kept overseas?
Because, of course, then we keep an eye on him, then we know where he is. If he needs to be monitored, locked up, whatever, that's what we need to do. I mean, I really don't understand. Is that really the level of, our thinking now, that we think as long as someone is not within the borders of the country, he cannot harm us in any way?
Yes.
I mean, is that seriously what we...
Yes.
Well, I completely disagree. I mean, I wish
what
that
do?
was the
Send a
situation
mean
we're in.
tweet?
Sorry?
I mean, in the real world, what can he do in France? Send a mean tweet. Nigel's used to that. They ping off his armour. Bullets won't ping off his armour. It's a much more realistic threat if a guy with a machine gun tattooed on his face is brought into Britain. Do we have any faith, for starters, that he'll be intercepted at the beaches when he lands? There are numerous reports, Shoaib Khan, of people getting aboard the beaches at Dungeness, legging it into Britain, never being seen again. People being put in asylum hotels, never being seen again. And people released on bail, never being seen again. You're the naive person here, sir.
I mean, okay. I mean, I just wish I could be living in that land where I thought, unless someone's in a room with me or in a building or a city with me, they won't be able to harm me. And in the year 2024, there's no technology that exists, under which they can use someone or instruct someone or make someone else go and do what they want to do. I mean, is that seriously what you're saying? Unless this person is physically, personally in the UK, Nigel Farage is safe from his and his associates. Personally, I'm
saying he's measurably and provably and logically safer if he's out of the country than he is in the country. Of course he is. What's he going to do? Send a drone?
No, but if he's in the UK and if he's in the UK and he's in prison, then I don't see how it can be. I mean, unless we're saying, that's how much we trust our government and our police and our CPS and our courts and our prisons, that somehow this one Afghan person, even if we lock him up for clearly what seems to be a criminal offence on video, we still won't be able to deal with him.
I think, Shoaib Khan, there is manifest evidence to show we should distrust our government, our police forces, the Home Office to release criminals, dangerous criminals into the country, into the nation. It happens all the time. Why take the risk? Why let this person to even set foot in our country? You might think it's naive. I think it's practical. I think it's sensible.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, we're saving money. If that's our only, aim here, that's all we're thinking about. Then, of course, it saves money if he never comes to the UK. We don't spend that many money on him. But, I mean, are we seriously saying that that is the way to keep people, especially in this case, where it's not just some hypothetical threat, when the whole point is, he's named a person, a British person, a sitting MP, and we know what his intentions are. And we think, as long as we close our eyes and we never see him again, then there's no way he can cause harm to someone in the UK. I just don't think that's true.
Would you be saying the same thing you're saying now if this death threat were issued, for example, against Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, or is Nigel somehow different?
Of course I would say, I mean, if it was Yvette Cooper, then I think we need to extradite this person, definitely. Bring him here, get him tried, punish him for what he said. Or would we say, that's fine, he's an Afghan, he's across the channel, it's fine, he can keep saying what he says. I really just don't understand this.
OK, well, we'll have to agree to disagree. I fear we could talk until dawn and never reach common ground. Shoaib Khan, thank you very much for joining me.